It's the holidays.
I
Or it's
know.
almost the holidays.
It practically is the holidays, right after Halloween, basically.
Yeah, Gene and I are in the post-Thanksgiving chillax glow right now. I'm yawning a lot, and Gene's hopped up on coffee, so we're on two very opposite ends of the spectrum right now. As much as it doesn't feel like it is, because of the pandemic and staying inside, it is the end of November, start of December for you all. I just put up my Christmas tree, and we wanted to kind of have a chiller discussion this week just because stuff's kind of simultaneously slowing down and speeding up. So we wanted to just have like a more open structure to this episode so that we can chill out with you all.
And also it's like just friends hanging out, basically.
Right. Because it is the month and the season of giving, we wanted to talk about gifts, both in our past and our present, and then things that we really appreciate, and then sort of end the episode by talking about some gifts that if you have a designer in your life that maybe you want to give or to ask for if you're a designer.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, I'm Calvin.
And I'm Jean.
And this is 27, a podcast about growing up.
So, Calvin, do you want to talk about like your favorite gifts when you were a child?
Usually, I guess a little bit of background is usually with Christmas for me and my family, I do it with my extended family. So it is going to be weird this year to not do that. And we do it on Christmas Eve. So day before Christmas, all of the cousins and aunts and uncles and stuff would get together at my grandma's house. And then we would open gifts together. We would pretty much get every like young cousin like a gift. So I would get a minimum of 4 or 5 gifts, which is nice. It's nice to have a couple of gifts to open. I don't really remember a lot of them, honestly. Like usually I remember the dud gifts. But there was one year that I specifically remember getting a gift that I wasn't expecting and I really appreciated and enjoyed. And it was like a fun thing for me for like months, which was a Bionicle.
Wait,
do you know what Bionicles are?
No, I don't know what is that?
So a Bionicle is I guess it's a Lego product, like a put together sort of like build thing, but it's also an action figure.
Oh, wait, no, never mind. Oh, no, I was like, is this the one with the magnets? But no, never mind.
No. So I believe they have like a weirdly rich lore, a big backstory, but I don't know any of it. Each one had like a natural element associated with, like there was an ice one, there was an earth one, there was a fire one, and they were just like cool robot action figures that you would make so you could like change out their hands and to be holding different stuff. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. And like spent that night like making the Bionicle and then playing with my cousins who had the other ones in the set. So that was like a really fun night. I literally still use a blanket that I got. I have it right here. It's out of frame for Jean to see, but it's the green blanket that you always see me holding. That was a Christmas present from a couple years ago that I actually use all the time now.
Can I sidetrack since you're talking about a blanket? So do you know, each person kind of has their own baby blanket that they love, right? I lost my baby blanket around like when I was 21 and I was so sad. I was like, I didn't even get to say goodbye. And then when I told that to my niece and nephew, I was like, you guys, this was when they were like pre-10. And I was like, you guys, I lost my baby blanket. And like the horror on their face was so real. They're like, and I was like, and I didn't get to say goodbye to it. They're like, that is so sad.
Yeah, I do have one other gift that I remember. It was a video game. It was like, and if you know me as a person, like you would think that it's like Pokemon or like something like that. But what happened was one year, I think I accidentally had asked for video games for Christmas. And my parents were like, you should not ask people for video games for Christmas because like, we'll buy you video. Like, I guess they wanted to have like control over the video games that me and my sister had. Yeah. I think I had accidentally asked and then I had received a video game, which probably was not age appropriate for me, but I guess I was in middle school at the time. But it was Soul Calibur 3, which I played for hours. I like love that game. It's an arena based fighting game. So it's like kind of 3D, but not really. It's kind of like Tekken, but with swords. It had like a character creator too. It was a lot, but it was a fun game. What were some of the gifts that you kind of remembered growing up?
Okay, so since I'm a twin, part of twin etiquette in gift giving is that you can't give one twin something more than the other twin, and you can't give them something extremely different in value. So we normally got matching clothes and like,
oh, the worst.
I know, but you know, they're okay. They're like matching but different. So it would be the same pattern or a different color, or the same color but kind of a different style. The one gift I do remember was getting these puffy blue winter jackets. I was in elementary school when I got these, and I would wear them all the time when it's freaking cold. And my sister and I were called like the Michelin guys, basically.
That's so rude.
Because they were so puffy, but I was like, I'm warm and you're not. But I remember that, and that was my favorite. And then back then also, my brother had, like, this is one of his ex-girlfriends. She was Mormon, and she was a huge on Christmas. And so there was one year in Christmas where, like, for 25 days, she was just coming in with, like,
oh my God, the human advent calendar.
Yeah, basically, like a shit ton of gifts. This was, you know, in my old house too. And I was like, we had a pretty big living room. And I was like, there is no space to walk in this living room because there is just gifts on gifts on gifts on gifts. I don't even remember any of the things we got. I just remember that it was a ton of gifts and like we couldn't see the Christmas tree.
Was that a positive for you? Was that like a cool, or was this is annoying?
No, this was like a positive, because the funny thing about our family and Christmas was what my mom used to do is wrap a shit ton of boxes, and it was like present roulette. So like some of them had gifts and some of them didn't have gifts, but it was just to
that feels cruel.
It was like to look like we had a lot of gifts. And so like sometimes you'd open it and you're like, oh, it's empty. And you're like, oh, never mind, I gotta go try another one. So it was fun to open the boxes. It wasn't fun to like not get anything in them. But we did that for quite a while until my brother started dating this girl, and she was like, no, like Christmas, and was like very festive in like the, I guess, like the most Mormon way that's publicly acceptable, because, you know, she's not with her church. That was probably like the most like Christmas-y, Christmas-esque celebration, in like seeing all those presents and gifts. And she made us like drink hot cocoa and like sugared yams and all that stuff. And I was like, I don't know what you're doing here, girl, but like we're kind of down for it. And then, you know, like when they broke up, we didn't have that anymore. My sister and I, we got very similar gifts up until we like really started developing our own personalities. And she became more of like Valley hip hop, and then I was like weird goth girl-esque. So
yeah.
You know, my mom couldn't get things that like were similar anymore, that are different. It was just like, it had to just be very different. So what she would do is then like leave the price tag on the gifts so that we could see like so
that's so funny.
Yeah, that we could see it's the same amount, you know, that like she wasn't spending $50 on one person and then like $20 on another person. And like just the thought of like my mom walking into Hot Topic to buy something is, I think, probably like the best childhood memory you can try to imagine. Like this,
I don't know if it's maybe new or if it's always been like that, but I feel like Hot Topic was like categorically different when we were in middle school than it is now, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Before it was like truly a punk kind of place and like a grunge and metal kind of place. And now it is sort of 20% that and then 80% anime pop culture stuff.
Yeah,
which is so
like,
weird because it keeps the same aesthetic.
Yeah.
But it is so different than it used to be.
Oh no, yeah. It's like, I remember realizing Hot Topic had changed when in high school, one of our friends who is more on the preppy side, like she came up to me and she was like, I bought something from Hot Topic. I was like, why would you go into Hot Topic? Because you like to watch Gossip Girl, but okay. And then that was when I was like, I think Hot Topic is changing and we might need to go see other people now.
I think the chink in the armor was Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh yeah.
I think that was the slow descent, because once that was all over Hot Topic, which it was, then it sort of spiraled into like, now you can buy Sailor Moon stuff at Hot Topic.
Yeah. But I guess like other than that, like we don't really have a Christmas tradition because now we don't really celebrate Christmas anymore. But back then it was like either we were at home, you know, with the whole gift situation, we would go eat samblue or dim sum morning of, and you're like, yes, yeah, like
That's
good old Chinese food. And then just really depending on what the year schedule was, we would either go to Thailand, go to Mammoth, or stay home.
Like, okay, so it's like a vacation time and less of a like a holiday time.
Yeah, because that was probably the only time, because my parents, they used to own their own, you know, auto shop business situation, and that was like the only time of the year that they really took off. So we would have Christmas off for maybe a week or two, depending on what their schedule was for the year. So like if they had a good year, then like everyone can take a longer vacay. If they didn't have a good year, then they would take just like the 3 or 4 days off for the holidays and then go back to work. But so just really depending what it was.
I was fortunate enough to have like a family, like a consistent family tradition. I think every Christmas Eve, and even like as we all went to college, like we would always come back to do that Christmas event. That tradition has kind of become like more stale, I'd say, or it feels much more like calculated, because as we, like me and my cousins, have gotten older, there's been more cousins in the family. There will potentially be even more people as like my cousins have kids. It's just becoming more of a like, this is the next person, this is, as opposed to like a fun like free-for-all. Because there used to be just 7 cousins where we'd all open gifts, and it'd be like so easy to, we could all do it at once and nobody would be lost. And now there's like more than 14 of us, so it's like how can we handle like opening presents all at the same time?
That is so funny.
And obviously we're older now, so like the gifts are less, it's more like we're asking for things and then we get to open them in front of everybody for Christmas, and it's less like a surprise of like, this is the cool thing I'm gonna get now.
Yeah.
It sucks because like we've started to make like Google spreadsheets of like, oh, this
my
is what
God.
I want, and here's the Amazon link. So it's just like,
That is so funny.
and then people will mark like, oh, I got it, and like you can obviously just not look at your list to see if to be surprised if anybody got you the things on your list. But number one, still a list, and number two, like it's definitely lost a lot of the shine that like Christmas used to have for me.
Yeah.
What kind of gifts do you like now? What are your traditions now? Have they changed since you were younger?
Well, they changed a lot, right? But I guess the thing that didn't change was that we still have to guess what to get each other. Like we don't give each other any hints or anything.
Oh, see, that's fun. I like that.
It's still a surprise. Like last year, or not last year, maybe 2 years ago, my sister and her husband decided to give me shoes. And, I had to give them $1 back because of the whole, like, there's a whole superstition of, like, you can't give someone shoes or socks or else they'll, like, walk out of your life. So you have to pay for it.
That's hilarious.
Have you heard of this superstition?
I've never heard that.
Oh, you never heard of it? There's a couple things where I'm like, I can't give you, even if I want to give you, like, cutlery, I can't give you cutlery because it's sharp. So that would, like, potentially end our friendship. So I can't give you knives. Even though TBH this year, I really want to give you these, like, Kishimoto knives because I'm like, oh, yeah. Do you know them?
Like the fancy ones?
Yeah, I was like, I saw that and I was like, wait, I really want to get this for Calvin, but like, I don't want to end our friendship. So like, what do I do? Those are superstitions where like, if you don't want to end your friendship or jeopardize a relationship or anything, just don't do it. Or if you do it, they have to pay you something like $1 or $5 or whatever. They decided to get me these Van pineapple printed shoes. And what they did was, one person gave me the left side and the other person gave me the right side.
That's so funny. So did you need to give them $2 because they were 2 different gifts?
I only gave them like, I don't even remember if I gave them money or not. I was just like, this is so ridiculous, but I'm laughing so hard of like, this is how you guys worked around gift giving. Because we also try to stay within a budget too. I guess like the tradition for our tradition is like we still keep it funny. Like we like gag gifts a lot. We still have to guess. So it's like the I guess like the old tradition part that we haven't let go of. For my sister, she's just like a luxe girl. She likes luxury stuff. I can't help it. And she really wanted a Tiffany's necklace. So I went there, and got her one. They didn't have the one I wanted, so I just got her the gift card for it. And then I got her a gift card to Soup Plantation. So,
okay.
So I got the Tiffany's.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, I know, right? Because now they're gone. But I got that Tiffany's bag with that Tiffany's card in there, or that little envelope, switched out and put the Soup Plantation gift card in the Tiffany's envelope. And so when she when she saw the bag, she started screaming and was like, no, you didn't. I can't believe you. And was like freaking out and I was like, they didn't have the necklace, so I got you, something else instead. She pulls out the little envelope. She's like, still like, you got me something from Tiffany's? And she opens it and it's Soup Plantation. She just starts crying she's like dying of laughter because of how ridiculous it is. But then I hid like the Tiffany's gift card in a different one because I forgot what it was too. We were like giving out multiple gifts. And then she was like, why would you get me this? Like, this is really dumb. And she's like, oh my God, it's a Tiffany's gift card. I'm like, yes, like, you should know me, basically. So
I love that. That's so like absent from most of my gift giving now. I think it's so easy just to put up in the Secret Santa exchange websites that people use, like, oh, put up your wish list, and it's just so easy to just get people what they want already. And it's just, I like the sport of going to the mall and walking around for 3 hours to be like, this maybe, and then leaving the store and then being like, okay, it's in. I'll file it in the just in case, and then I'll go into Gap and then see if there's anything there, and then you just go through the whole mall and then you make a short list of like 5 things. You're like, okay, which one's the best one?
That is how we do Christmas before COVID. Is like the drama and like the run to get it. And because I'm not that nosy, my sister in this whole family likes to ruin her own surprises. I don't know why, she just enjoys it, and like her husband has to try to hide it from her. Like she almost ruined her anniversary gift. I have to hide things in double bags from her, and so it's truly a sport in this family to like hide the gift. But like now, as we've gotten older and we're like, gifts are really expensive, it's okay that if you don't get gifts for the adults, it's totally fine, but we have to get gifts for the kids. So the new sport is who gets the best gift for the kids.
Do you directly ask the kids who was the best gift?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's not like a guessing, like they were the most excited. It's just like you directly go and say,
we're like,
which one was the best one? Point to them.
Yeah. We're like, who was your favorite gift? And last year my cousin won because she got my oldest nephew the pair of shoes he wanted. I was like, shit. Like, I'm so mad. And then I bought my niece like the same shoes I got my nephew, but in a blue color. And she really liked those. And I was like, which one was your favorite? And she was like, this one. I'm like, yes.
So you won one of them.
I won one of them. And now there is like 2 new babies, So we're trying to figure out how do we get the baby to tell us which one they liked more. But as I've gotten older, I think like what I like in gifts have definitely changed. Because when I was a kid, it was very much like, I want it because I like it, or I want it because like it's supposed to make me be a better person. Like I'm an artist, so I want art supplies, that type of thing. Or like I want the thing that I can't buy with my allowance, so I want you to get it for me, type of thing. But as I've gotten older, I realized like I don't really like people giving me actual things anymore, because I've just become really particular about what I have. And it makes me feel bad because like I know they have the best intentions when they give me these things, but to me it's like, oh, now I just got like more shit in my room. If they do give me things, it's just like small things that I like that I appreciate. Like a box of pencils would not make me mad at all. I'd be like, oh, that's cute, Or like, how I told you a little bit before, like a gift card to get gasoline would not make me mad. Like those are things that I really kind of just like, they're small enough that like, you still feel a sentiment, but like they're not going to intrude in like what my daily thing is.
The things that I ask for are generally pretty like practical gifts. I really like a practical gift. The guide that I use to buy gifts for other people and the gift guide that I like for people who buy gifts for me is like, I want something that I want to buy really bad, but cannot justify buying for myself. Like that's the perfect gift for me. It's like, I cannot justify buying myself like smart light bulbs or something, right? Like, but if you gave it to me, I would keep them.
Oh, that is
I'm
so
not going to
funny.
return them, and I would love them, but I wouldn't buy it for myself. You know what I mean? Like that's the perfect gift for me now.
That's
And
so
I generally it's something practical, but it's something practical, but like just out of the comfort level of me going and buying it myself. Getting me something that I wouldn't buy for myself, but I would really like, mostly means toys. It mostly means essentially trash, like things that don't really have value, but like when I look at them, it's like, oh. It's the funny things that like bring me joy or like really good gifts for me now. I'll usually ask for like pretty standard stuff like candles or socks or jackets or stuff. But what I really enjoy getting is toys, especially because as a 27-year-old person now, I don't really expect to get toys anymore. So when I get one, I'm just like,
yes,
yay. Even if it's simple as like you get me whatever, a pair of socks, but then there's like a little pack of Pokemon cards in there. I was like,
oh, that is so funny. That's also good to know, actually. No, I feel like I'm just very much in like the auntie mindset all the time now. Besides like, not getting gifts, which kind of excite me sometimes, or like smaller things, I also like gifts that are like you just can't find. So because I don't want to sound like I'm being pretentious or anything. I'm like, I like a good handmade gift. But you know, I like getting things that my niece makes, you know, where she just like makes a painting or like makes a card, and I'm like, I enjoy that a lot because I end up framing it, and I'm like, I'm gonna keep this forever, and when I die it's going in my casket, you know, like I guess I like the things that are supposed to have like a memory attached to it, so I tend to just like lean more towards enjoying those types of gifts. But also, you know, speaking of toys, like I wouldn't mind a good old fun toy either, but like it's really depending on like what is it. So like if it's, you know, a robot dog, I'm like, not really into that. But like if we're talking about like a, you know, like a new snowboard, I'm like, sure, that's like a fun toy, like a fun grown-up toy.
I think the common thread with all these gifts that we've been talking about, like really enjoying as adults, is like thoughtfulness. The people always say like it's the thought that counts, but I think genuinely it is the thought that counts. One of the reasons that I don't necessarily like the way that my family has been doing Christmas recently is because it feels less thoughtful. It feels more just like I am fulfilling an obligation. And why, like when I hear about the way that your family does Christmas, I'm just like, oh, that sounds fun, because it sounds like, you know, the drama at the mall. Yeah. It's like that is a lot of thought and a lot of like earnest trying to figure out what to get a person. And I really appreciate that process.
Knowing you have the problem and then you like find the efficient way to solve it, which is how like an Excel sheet comes about. But my family is not like that at all. Like my family
Right.
loves chaos, and like no matter how many times we've like gone through the problem, we'll still try to resolve it in the same chaotic way, which is why our tradition of the sport of Christmas has never changed after 20 years, because like no one will make an Excel doc, or no one will like say like maybe we should put it in a hat on like the things we like. We just literally say in front of each other, I don't know what to get you, and like that's it. And like we don't try to resolve it or anything. Or sometimes like, you know, my sister will say, well, like I love that Chloe bag, and we're like, bitch, no, like we're not going down that route. But then on the side, you know, we have to have different group chats, like with me and her husband and me and my cousin, on like, so are you getting her a Chloe bag? Because if you are, like nothing can beat that, and we're not going to even try, basically.
I think it's so funny that it's the complete opposite of what we were saying on the first episode of like, if you want something, just ask for it. And I don't think that the two ideas are conflicting. I think that they are complementary in a weird way, which is that Christmas and like the holidays and gift giving in general, it's a time of like coming together and like spending time together, and I guess an acknowledgement of the connection that you have with people. Like what my family's doing is just giving people what they ask for. It doesn't really show that you know or care about people. I guess it kind of shows that you care about them because you're just going to get them something.
Yeah.
But it doesn't establish that like connection or that like knowledge of anything. It's just like, oh, you said you wanted this, so I got it for you. Isn't that cool? As opposed to like the process of thinking, like, you know, trying to put yourself in that person's shoes and trying to understand how they would see things and what they would react to. I think that that's a really valuable way to connect. You know, it doesn't happen all the time, and shouldn't happen all the time. But like it's like a controlled amount of doing that to show people that you care about them. And I like that a lot.
Oh, I was like, I'll let them know that, because you know it's stressful for us. I like that your family's like, we're gonna make you happy, so like give us a checklist. Sometimes I wish we did that, but like if we ever tried to do that, all hell would break loose on like someone would be like, we're not using the same format and I need the font to be this way, or they're like, isn't paper and pen a lot easier? And so we just like would never attempt.
It's also so boring because you look at the box and you're like, I made a list about what I wanted.
Things.
So what fits inside that box? And you're just like, I hate this. I don't like doing this when I look at a gift. I just want to be surprised. I want to have fun.
Does your family not, maybe you should start doing this. Our family, what we also like to do is put boxes within a box within a bag sometimes. That way you can't guess what it is. So like,
because we all meet up together and there's like easily 50 gifts to open, we try not to make it too much of a thing.
Oh no,
yeah.
We're not a big fam. That's why we're a pretty small fam. So like we got time to draw out the experience, because I think honestly our Christmas celebration maybe lasts for like 30 to 45 minutes max. 45 if there's like a lot of gifts. 30 if there's like not a ton of gifts. And now since it's only the kids, it's however long the kids want to like spend time opening it, freaking out, and then start playing with it. So we don't go on too long at all.
Yeah, for us, it's gotten more efficient, but I think it's probably closer to an hour to maybe an hour 15, but it used to be like 2 hours. We used to give everybody their like individual moment, and now we've really streamlined it, so it's not that anymore because it was too much.
You're like, by the time we get to the 15th cousin, we're kind of over it.
Yeah, well, because it was like one person gives one gift, and then we take the picture, and then the next person gives the next gift. And it's too much.
Oh my god, okay.
And then what we do now is we do one family gives the gifts that they got to all the families. They all open at the same time. We all take the picture at the same time, and then we do the next family. So it's way faster, but it used to take a long time.
That's funny that it was like a family thing where you're like, you guys, we can't do this. We gotta, we gotta find a way to speed it up. And we're like, let's do family units. Switching over to like, if you have designer friends and like how you would especially gifts for your creative friends, I feel like that's very, very hard. Just because at least the creative folks that I feel like the quote unquote really creative folks that I know are like very particular, either in like the brands that they know or the material things that they like. So sometimes it's just very hard to find something that they would want to keep. So I tend to just like give things that I feel like are more like experiential. Like, let me give you a gift certificate to go get a facial, or let me like buy your subscription for a month or something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I think maybe if you have a person who's difficult to like shop for, that the best gift for a designer specifically is months of subscriptions to Adobe Creative Cloud, because it's a big help.
Yeah. It's like the challenge that you're faced in finding a creative gift is something that like feels very creative, and like you can look on IG and you can look on the internet and it's gonna feel creative to you, but then if it's like all over Instagram, you're like, is that really creative, or is it just trendy? And then is my friend unique in like that, or will she or he have a judgment on like how trendy I bought something for them, and you're like, I don't know which route to take. So I feel like the safest route is the monthly subscription, or like something that is just really for them to experience, that is like, oh, it's just a service you need. Like, you need to go get your nails done because like your cuticles are looking like shit, type of thing. You're like, go get them fixed, or like a gift card to go buy some groceries type of thing.
One thing that if you want to have like a very special or like a cool gift that you want to give that's sort of more of a surprise, I think a good gift, in my opinion, for anybody is an art print, and giving people like stuff to put on their walls. Just because, number one, I don't know if any of you have like moved out into your own place yet, but a home feels way more like a home when you have stuff on the walls. It like really makes a huge difference to like the difference between feeling like you live in a college dorm or in a college apartment versus you live in a house, is whether you have something on the walls that makes it look like you enjoy your life where you are.
That you're not afraid to put a little hole into the drywall, basically.
Right. Or put up some command strip Velcro.
Yeah.
The easiest way to do that and make sure that you know that the person will enjoy the art that you give them is to look at their following list on Instagram and just support a small artist by buying an art print from somebody that they're following and be like, hey, here you go. And then it's kind of a win-win-win. You give a good gift, they get a good gift, and then you support a small artist in the process. Good. Yeah, designers are usually following at least one person that they like the art of, if not every single person on their Instagram is somebody that they like the art from. So that usually works out.
No, that's a really good gift, actually. It's like a little bit of like Sherlock Holmes detective mode too. Unlike, because
the drama, we love the drama.
Yeah, there's a drama, and like, who do you like, and how many likes did you give this person already? Like, I know you like so and so, so I'm gonna go buy it from them. That's like a really great surprise too, actually. No. And
then like Jean said, sometimes like a homemade thing, it just for the thoughtfulness of it too might be nice. But
like, it sounds so cheesy to say that you like homemade things, but like, I don't know, I feel like the crappier it looks, the better I like it.
Oh, I'm the same.
Yeah, like, there's something kind of great about how like you see the actual effort put into trying to make it versus it coming out perfect, and you're just like, yeah, I like this because you really tried. You know, there was thoughtfulness put into it. Like, I might not ever use this weird shaped vase that you made me, you know, but like, I'm gonna keep it here forever. Like, I have this, it wasn't gifted to me, it was gifted to my mom that my nephew made when he was 3. I still have it because I think it's just like the cutest thing ever. And I was like, I will never be able to like that is a moment when you were 3 that will never be like, will never come through in life again. So like, I want to keep it, which is I guess why homemade things are very cute or very like sentimental, because you're like, it's such a moment in time of representing who you are at that age. And like, God, I'm turning into such an aunt, like such a like godmother fairy tale mom thing, like grossness. But you know, there's like something about like that locket of time that's never going to be repeated. And as you get older, as things change, like that is kind of like one moment that like stops moving in time.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening. We really appreciate you tuning in as always. If you want to share our podcast, I actually don't think I've ever mentioned it, but we have a YouTube channel that's slowly being updated with the new episodes, as well as the episodes on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. So please share them wherever you can. We really appreciate having new people listening to the show.
I'm like, we see you people from Virginia. Like, I see you on our Captivate. There's people from Virginia and Florida and Michigan. I'm like, thank you.
Aw.
I know, it's really sweet, right? I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh, and also, if you want to, you know, stay in the know or like updates on anything podcasts or other DBJ stuff related, I'm like, subscribe to our newsletter because we release it every...
Yeah, and you can find that on our website, just at studiodbj.com. But otherwise, Jean, did you want to take it away with our prompt?
I was like...
Do you have one?
I don't think I have one because we were talking about gift giving. I was like, you know what, just think real hard. Don't be petty. And like, if making an Excel list is the easiest thing for your family to do, start it. Like, there is no one else who's going to start it. So just start the Excel list, basically. Yeah, I guess that is
all right. Well, take care, everybody.
Awesome. Bye. Oh, never mind. Awkwardness.
Sorry.
Bye.